In the beginning of this week's Parsha, we start off talking about the requirement that was placed upon every person in the Jewish community to contribute towards the upkeep and the running of the temple in Jerusalem. And everybody was required to contribute a certain amount, a specific amount. And the amount was what's called a machatzit shekel, a half shekel. And of course, the commentaries wonder about this. Why a half shekel? I mean, you can make jokes about Jews being cheap and everything, but that had nothing to do with it, obviously. The reason why we were required to contribute a half shekel and not a whole entire shekel is because it's very important as Jews that we always remember that as individuals, we are incomplete. We are never whole until we are a part of the Jewish people, the Jewish nation as a whole. Together, when we're united, we're strong. When we're individuals, we're only a half. We're not whole. I think about that and that powerful message, especially where I am right now. I came up here this morning with our friends, the Gilmans, who are visiting from Chicago, and we're on the very top of Mount Herzl. In fact, right now I'm standing right in front of the grave of Theodore Herzl. And we just visited the tombs of the prime ministers and the presidents, and of course the soldiers that have gave up their lives for this country are buried here, lone soldiers and soldiers that died in Israeli wars. And there was a saying, a famous quote, I don't know who said it, but basically the quote was that on Yom HaShoah, which is Holocaust Memorial Day, we stop and we pause and we remember the price that we paid for not having a state of Israel. And on Yom HaZikaron, which is Israeli Memorial Day, we stop and we pause and we think about the price that we paid for having the state of Israel. And when you're up here and you see all these people, Herzl and the prime ministers and the soldiers who gave up their lives for the ultimate cause of the unity of the Jewish people in the land of Israel, feeling very, very inspired and touched by that. So I think it's something to remember as we go into this Shabbat and we read about the half shekel. We have to remind ourselves that the real power, the real strength of Am Yisrael is not when we're individuals. It's not when we're doing great things or accomplishing wonderful things for ourselves and our family alone, but when we recognize and we understand that by being a Jew, it means you're a part of a nation. You're a part of a people that has a mission and a purpose in this world. And it requires us to ask ourselves, how am I playing that role? How am I being part of the Jewish nation? How am I joining together? In what way am I taking my half shekel and putting it together with everybody else's half shekel to create the ultimate shekel of unity and oneness and the fulfillment of our job and our role as the Jewish people to be a light unto the nations. Wishing everybody a wonderful Shabbos. Shabbat shalom from Yerushalayim.